Boy, let's get back into it.
And of course we're back, guys. Welcome back, everybody who's staying with us and getting this grind on. Alright, if we forgot where we're at, we have officially entered the bunker. We have the Tesseract from Iron Man has grabbed the Tesseract. He saw his dad, Howard Stark, and then we go down a nice little feelings trip. Adrian, you want to talk about the feelings that you had, feelings of the feels and the feels of the feels of this?
For what part?
Tony Stark. Hey, how you doing? We're doing a live stream. Welcome to it. This is what happens during live videos. When Tony Stark finally sees his dad, Howard Stark, and they kind of
that part was cool.
You know, they go to the elevator and the flowers. He's talking about him having a baby.
Yeah, man, it was good stuff, bro. Like, the way they connected everything was nice. Like Gabe said, they, go back into time, and then there's, the side stories. And it was just good, man.
And I don't know if I'm just thinking about this the wrong way or something, but didn't, at some point, Howard Stark say something about how somebody told him everything was going to be okay when he was having Tony in a previous movie? Like, didn't they go back and reference something like that?
Man, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch.
We have to go.
So many
I think it did, so I don't know. I could be just making it up, but I thought so.
Yeah. And then, so they
if
have...
that did happen,
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's some crazy shite.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it might have happened. I think you're right. So I
That'd
think as soon
be-
as they got off the elevator and he asks him, "Were you nervous about having your daughter?"
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that part right
I think
there.
it was something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be weird. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, they're like first father son kind of like
Yeah,
it's
moment.
connection. Yeah,
And the whole
it's
thing, because
cool.
you always thought that the dad was just mean to him, like didn't really
Yeah.
care too much for him.
And he even said, "Now all I think about is the good times." And then, if you guys notice, when Howard turns, he gets a hug from Tony. When Howard turns, he goes to the limo. We see Paul Bentley, who is Vision, and he's Jarvis, and he's alive, and he's a human. So now we know where he got the Jarvis. Because in every Iron Man, Jarvis is just the voice in his head.
He's the AI.
Yeah, he's the AI. So now we actually get to see the human form of Jarvis,
Yeah.
which was that I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was a nice little tie-in.
Dude, they did a lot of little Easter egg things, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like amazing.
Yeah, and if you literally blink, you're gonna miss some of those Easter
Oh,
eggs.
yeah,
I mean,
for
it's,
sure.
It's tough to catch because, like you guys said, the CGI. I didn't even notice that.
I think like a review after I saw it the first time that somebody brought up was saying that like the best way to not spoil it is just to say that it's a trip through the MCU.
Trip down memory lane.
memory lane for the MCU movies.
Memory
Yeah.
So,
lane.
that made perfect sense.
Yep.
So then we go to Nebula and War Machine, Hawkeye and Black Widow going to get their stones. So Hawkeye and Black Widow drop off Nebula and War Machine at the planet where Quill is to get the Power Stone, right?
Yep.
It's Power Stone at that point. What happens there, Jake?
Well, basically, they just kind of hide out for a little while, and they're waiting for Quill to come along so they can follow him to where the Power Stone is.
Knock his ass out.
But the best part about it is they basically reenact the intro from the first Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy scene. And that's one of my favorite movies from the whole thing. That was great, just to watch that again and have that be in the movie, and even to the part where he's like singing and kicking the rats around and stuff. It was great. I enjoyed that a lot. But anyways, they basically just knock him out once he's singing and dancing, and then they go in and Nebula sticks her arm in and basically grabs the Power Stone, and it comes out all melty like Terminator arm. And they have the Power Stone, and then they're about to leave, but it turns out that Nebula couldn't leave right away because Thanos has the other Nebula, the younger one, and their minds are connected because she's half machine.
Yeah,
And
that was connected to her
yeah,
Wi-Fi.
so he's
You knew
he
the password.
hacked into those DMs,
Deep in those DMs.
and he's checking out all of her memories for the past 9 years, and
Yeah.
he learns. And to me, this is one of the better parts of the movie too, is because he learns about what happened. He learns that he found the stones, and he learns that he killed half the universe.
He learns that
But then he
won.
also found out that it didn't work. So he's going to have to take a different approach the next time.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, he also saw how he died. But this is the part that I really liked, is when he died, he's like, that just means that's destiny
Fulfilled.
Yeah,
fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest
That
thing.
part
Like,
was-
he saw himself die, but he was okay with
Yeah,
it because he got what he
Yeah,
wanted.
he doesn't
yeah,
feel that.
Thanos
Yeah.
is one of the most unique villains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
He
Like,
doesn't fear
ever.
death. But even in the comics, he doesn't fear death.
He's just so dope, man. Like, just for him to be like, "Oh, I died," it's like, "Oh, that means I did it.
Yeah.
I did it, man." Like,
And I think that's something that we'll talk about probably a little bit later, but one of the things that one of the only things besides the time travel thing that bothered me about the movie, and it was about that they didn't show him enough.
yeah, that was one of the top
I mean,
three.
he was
I
already
agree
in
with
there
it, but
a
his
lot.
parts were really good.
No, well, that's the
But
thing.
they were
like,
short. All of
in
them were
Infinity War, like that movie was so good because
Well,
it showed him.
yeah, it's
And
his
I think
movie
that's
a
the kind
lot.
of the thing, though, is this
Like,
Infinity War was Thanos' movie.
Yeah,
This
that's true.
movie's more towards the Avengers now. So
yeah, but
That's
it
true.
was, like, I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
can't-
showed
you
a little
really
bit
have
more
that.
than
everything
Not
in
much
balance,
about it.
Gabe.
Yeah, everything in balance. Stop getting mayonnaise on your hot dogs, you villain. Okay, so once again, like they touch base on it. Nebula. So what ended up actually happening is War Machine goes back with the stone. Nebula's about to go back, and the other Nebula just automatically starts freaking out and showing what she's seeing, the future Nebula is seeing. And then Thanos puts all the pieces together because he is extremely smart. That's one of his superpowers, I guess you want to say. He's a great strategist in battle. He's extremely intelligent. So right there, he pieces everything together, and he heads to the planet they're at. Now, this is what kills me. War Machine goes back. Nebula does not go back. Nebula, for some reason, runs to the ship, and tries to contact Hawkeye.
Which
and
doesn't make
War
any
Machine.
sense.
Yeah, why didn't she just go back? Why did she try to contact
I don't
Hawkeye
know why
and
she
back
didn't
up?
just go back.
Yeah.
She knew that they were going to be safe on that planet because that planet's hard to find anyway.
Yeah.
Because the only reason she knew where it was is because she knew it from the future. Now, Thanos would have eventually got to it, of course, but they would have already been done with getting their stones and gone back. Like, it would have been already done.
Right.
She would have just left at that. She would have just bounced out. So Nebula ends up getting abducted, and then, what happens, Gabe?
So with Hawkeye?
What happens with the
next
Nebula
we would
part?
split off. Well,
Does that happen after or
that
before?
happens after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So next we go to Hawkeye
And Black Widow, where they go to the planet where Gamora dies.
Planet Morag,
Yeah, Morag.
where the
So,
Soul Stone is.
They go pretty much the same path that Thanos and Gamora went. They go up to the very top. They see Red Skull. He basically tells them the same exact thing that he told Thanos. But this time, it didn't just happen instantly. It looked like they actually thought about it. And Hawkeye kind of goes, how do we know what he's saying is true? Blah, blah. And she knows because she knows Gamora died and blah, blah.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a thing of like, which one of those two is going to sacrifice himself for the Soul Stone? And Ronan wants to do it because he doesn't have his family. And he's like, trying to take that sacrifice to say, hey, I'm going to take the sacrifice, tell my family I love them.
Well, and he's also saying, I'm not the same person I was 5 years
Yeah.
ago. I'm a monster now. I don't want to go back to my family as a monster.
Which sucks
So-
because, you don't ever get to see that story.
Now, here's
And,
the
he's
question.
killing bad guys, so
Yeah.
I don't really see how he's a monster.
neither.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get why
It's because
they
he's
do
killing
that.
Well, he's
people.
killing
They don't,
them,
they don't
yeah.
usually kill people again. So here's my
Whatever.
question. Do you guys think that Nebula knew how to get the Soul Stone? That it had to be... Because War Machine and Nebula couldn't have gone and got it. Because
Well,
they brought it
She did
up.
know.
She told them.
Yeah.
warned
But
them
she
ahead of
remember
time.
when they're
it had to
all
be somebody
together-
you love that has to die. So those two they're not in love, but I mean they're
No, I
very
think
friends.
it's
They
just,
love each other. Does she know one of them had to die?
I think she kind of warned him about it.
Yeah, she
honestly,
did, because
she
there was
told
a-
him that he went with Gamora and came back with the
Yeah.
Soul Stone.
Yeah, and then
instead.
all of them kind of
Yeah.
looked at her, and then remember Ant-Man was like, not it. Yeah. So they knew, and I think that's why those two got sent together.
That part did confuse me too because when Thanos goes to get it, the guy tells Thanos, you have to, since you're the one who wants the stone, you have to give up something you love more than anything. Hawkeye and Black Widow are not in love with each other.
But they love each other.
No,
it's
but
like
they're-
us.
they're
We
like
love
best
each other,
friends,
but
yeah.
Yeah, but when Thanos did it, it seemed more of you got to give up something that you love more than anything. It had to be the huge.
He doesn't say anything.
Huge sacrifice.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Has to be a
Okay, I get what
sacrifice
you're
to
saying,
love.
but at that moment, Hawkeye doesn't have a family. So
Black
the
Widow's the same.
next thing to that
I mean,
would have been
and
her.
she kind of is family to him.
Yeah, so I can see, I get what you're saying totally, but I can also get why those two had to go with each other.
And Natasha's family is the Avengers.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
why they stress that so
Yeah.
hard.
Right.
So what ends up happening is Hawkeye's I think we're starting to think two separate people are going to do this. And she goes, and then they both
start
kind of
battling.
agree
Yeah, they both
that
have the
she's
same
going to do
idea,
it,
yeah.
and then he just throws her ass to the ground.
Which is hilarious.
And then, the funnier part is not when he throws her to the ground, but when she ends up electrocuting him, goes running, and he throws a bow and arrow at her and explodes her to the
blows
side.
her off.
That was hilarious to me.
And then he just
And then, he throws his bow and just looks at her while he's sprinting. That was hilarious to me. And then right as she jumps off the cliffs, grabs him, hooks him to
her.
I think that basically a Batman grappling hook.
Yeah, pretty much.
But connects it to him so he can't fall. And she's basically holding on to his hand. And then you get the scene of, just let me go.
And this is where I think it ties in. 'Cause this is where it comes into what you said. Is I think if one of them technically commits suicide, it doesn't count. But since he grabbed her at the end, he technically
And
has
let
to
her go,
sacrifice
yeah.
her for
Yeah.
the Soul Stone. And I think that's where it comes into play of how it works. Because like I said, if they jump off and they kill themselves, I don't think it works that way. Because yeah, it's a selfless act, but you're technically killing yourself. They're not giving you up.
But
in this time, Hawkeye has to give her up to get the Soul Stone. He
Yes.
has to kill her.
Like,
So
yeah.
technically, he's doing what Thanos did, which is throwing Gamora off. He's technically throwing Black Widow.
I mean, I hate to be the downer, but was anybody sad that she died?
nope.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It was
I
more of an impact that Gamora died in that scene.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
it was that she.
It was
I mean,
way more of an impact.
Her character honestly just has always fell out of place from the.
We've always made fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of her being a good actress or whatever.
No, she plays a part well. Her
There's-
character is not horrible. It's
There's
just,
the scenes where they're getting invaded by an alien life force. And you have the Hulk, who's obviously Gamma Rayed up.
And he's
You
struggling.
have Iron Man
He's
in
struggling.
a suit. Captain America, who's a super soldier.
Struggling.
Thor, who's got a thunder.
Struggling.
And then you have Hawkeye, who you can kind of throw it in there a little bit, but he has like incredible vision. But he has the arrows that lets him like do certain things. But then you have her with just a pistol.
Little pistol.
And she is smoking fools left and right.
Yeah, and actually, she's like one of the main reasons why that plan doesn't work. Remember, because she gets the staff and she explodes everything.
Yeah.
So like they made her like they made somebody who isn't really a big superhero have big scenes.
Right.
But this particular scene of her dying was not a big of a effect as I thought it was going to be.
yeah. I didn't really care.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't
either.
know that anybody really did.
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know either.
her
Which is
character,
like,
honestly, it ran its course, and that was,
yeah,
that was the
ran
time
its
for it
course.
to end. Like,
That was the time.
Anybody
for it to
watching,
end.
if you care.
Now, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting her to die.
well, I
Once
expect,
once it came to that scene and they were like, one of us has to die, I was like, it's Black Widow.
Yeah, it's
There's
going
no
to be
way
Black
it's
Widow.
Widow.
Yeah, I thought the same thing
Yeah.
because I was like, you can't bring Ronan
her
into the
whole
story
mission
and then
was
just
to
like her die.
basically
Get him to a point
yeah,
where they could bring
everybody
But
back.
not
so-
only that is we're so in the age of kayfabe being just nothing anymore that her contract's done. She's not doing any more movies. Tony's Robert Downey Jr.'s contract's done. He's not. Chris Evans' contract's done. Chris Hemsworth's contract's ending. Like we
is
know all
her
this stuff. So
contract ending?
eventually,
No,
she's not doing
yeah,
any more
she's
movies.
doing
She
another-
has
Yeah.
a solo
her
film.
contract was
They're-
over.
No,
she has a
talking about
solo
her
film
doing
that's
a
in
prequel.
production.
film, yeah.
But
And actually,
my
I was about
point
to
is-
ask that. Like, do you think her solo film is going to be before that or after that? You think it's going to be an origin story? Because there's no
probably
point
gonna be
doing
an
an
origin
origin story for a character that you already know the ending of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's probably going to be an origin.
And I
story,
want to
but
say
what
that's
they
why I
do.
feel like they stressed Hulk saying something at the end. But we'll continue going forward because we're almost close to the big.
Yeah, we're getting close to the big
Real
climactic
quick,
battle.
did we already get past the part where freaking Ant-Man, like...
Goes
Yeah.
in Thanos' butt. No, I'm just
No, the part where he gets pretty much hit with a bomb right to his face.
No, we're not there yet.
No, we're not.
No,
there
no,
yet.
that's
Okay.
where. Okay, so after they get that stone, everybody comes back
Okay.
Yeah,
from
they
their
all come
time
back
travel.
And they're like, "Where's Black Widow?"
Yeah, pretty much. And Hulk is pretty
Well,
upset with it because of the
but
whole
Love story.
random love story.
I actually didn't talk about this quite yet because it happened kind of during the whole Black Widow and Hawkeye thing. But Nebula, the young one, she abducts
And took pieces.
the
Oh,
current
yeah.
one, and she
Oh, yeah.
disguises herself, and she comes back.
Yeah.
With
So
with
the young one comes back instead of the one that disappeared.
And here's
So-
another part that bothers me is they have one for back, one for there. She gave it to Thanos. Did they all just go together? Because she gets there, Nebula gets there first. The bad Nebula, she gets there first, and then we see Thanos' ship show up. How they all get back with only one pin particle?
Well, yeah, because she leaves them the Pym particle, and then she puts her hands in there to the time machine to get the time machine to come back. It wasn't just.
Oh,
see,
you're right.
yeah.
So she came back with the pin particle. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll get to that part. You're right. Sorry, I forgot about that part. Go ahead. Gabe.
Everybody comes back.
Yep.
And then they're
Hulk
mourning the
throws a
loss
bench across
of
the-
Black Widow.
Which I thought was
And Hulk is extremely upset because that's his random love interest in old
Random.
movies, which didn't make any
she
sense.
sings him lullabies.
So after that happens, then Hulk pretty much says like, well, let's not make it a waste for her. Let's actually do what we plan to do. So then Tony Stark designs a Iron Man gauntlet glove,
Which is dope.
which was amazing. I think
It was
it basically used the nanobites or whatever.
The nanotechnology.
Yeah, to hold the stones in and all that. So then they're deciding on who's going to wear the glove. And Thor's like, obviously it has to be me. And then that's why, and keep in mind, he's still fat.
We skipped that whole Thor scene, by the way. We have to go back and do Thor scene. We didn't explain how he
Oh
got
yeah,
his
when he was
jewel.
back in time.
You
with
know, he
Rocket.
talks to his mom.
Well, okay, so Natalie Portman's character puts her hands in a cave when you see the old school Thor movies. She actually takes the ether goo into her, and him and Rocket Raccoon have to go and actually stab her and extract it out of her.
Yeah.
So Rocket Raccoon's trying to get him to do it. He's crying because it's the same day that his mom passes away.
Yeah.
So then he actually gets a chance to talk to his mom. Rocket Raccoon basically does it by himself.
That's just hilarious.
And then he's running from the guards to Thor, and he's like, we gotta go, we gotta go. And then the mom is basically just saying, like, you know, do what you gotta do.
Did we lose it again? Oh,
Did the battery on the camera die?
Oh, it may have.
Uh-oh.
I hope not. That would suck.
Well, if the battery died, we maybe just doing a talking one here.
I think it did. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we have nothing right now, so I will sing you songs of beauty. Yeah. Hey, we're trying to get this battery charged, so sorry. Give us a break. Another break. We love you guys. Thank you.
Wizard, what do you see as you twist it out beneath our feet? What do you see? Wizard, what do you see as you twist it out beneath our feet? What do you see? Wizard, what have you done to me? As the dark energy flows from inside of me, inside of me. wizard, what do you see as you twist your tiles beneath our feet? What do you see? Wizard, what do you see as you twist the tile beneath our feet? What do you see? Wizard, what have you done to me? As the dark energy flows from inside of me, inside of me. What do you see? Wizard, what do you see as you twist your tiles beneath our feet? What do you see? Wizard,
Sorry.
Go.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we're having a bit of a technical camera difficulty problem, so you're just going to be hearing our soothing voices. Podcast story. So we're going to be doing this podcast style. Right, guys?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so my soothing voice will bring you guys home.
Once
we finish
the
this
camera comes back, guys, I'll put it back on.
And I'm still going to do this voice for you guys. It's sexy. No, I'm not. All right, so where did we leave off as? Anybody remember?
So we left off pretty much with Thor and
We were talking about
Raccoon
Thor's
getting
part.
the
Getting the stone.
Yeah, so there's not really much to talk about there. I mean, he
yeah,
gets
there
his
is. There's a
own-
main important part.
Yes,
Hey,
there is.
he told you.
He gets the hammer. That's like one of the biggest parts of the movie.
Oh, I thought we already
Yeah,
covered.
while he's in the past, he gets his hammer back.
He does.
He does. He gets his hammer.
And he
back.
brings it back to the future.
So
with him.
technically, he's still worthy of being a god, even though he's a fat slob and he's drinking
Yep.
and playing Fortnite his whole life.
And his mom tells him basically a lot of people fail at the person they're supposed to be, and he needs to be the person he wants to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like, be yourself. Don't be something you're supposed to be. Just be what you need to be. Which that's a good line. His mom's tight. I like his mom. The actress who plays her is pretty dope too.
She's good.
And he tries to save her, and she's like, "No, I'm not. No, don't try to save me because this is just what happens. You need to let it go."
Yes. Like,
He tries
that's her
it more.
fate. Her fate's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just correct his future.
Yeah. So him and Rocket end up going back. He gets a hammer. They go back, and then Adrian, what happens? You're on your phone the whole time now that people can't see you. So Adrian, those are the heroes. Adrian's a huge phone junkie, so he's on his phone right now as we are talking. But Adrian,
I was trying to read the spoilers because I didn't see the movie, so I just want to be part of the conversation.
Wow.
Adrian, this whole time.
I really don't know what happened after that.
So after that happens, we go to where the scene that we were talking about before we got cut off, and that was all the Avengers are back together. They came back.
No,
They
they
do
were.
not know that Nebula is
The wrong
the
nebula.
wrong Nebula
Yeah.
because she took parts of the old or the newer
The
future
future
Nebula's
Nebula.
face and put it on hers to disguise her. So in the meanwhile, they're all talking about Black Widow and how she's gone, and how sad it is. Blah 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 blah
They
blah.
have,
Tony
like,
Stark
little
makes the gauntlet
service
with
for her a little bit.
yeah. Tony Stark makes the gauntlet with his nanotechnology. They put the stones in it, and now they're deciding. This is where we stopped. Was they're deciding who is going to put on the gauntlet and wish everybody or snap everybody back. Thor says it should be him because he's saying basically that he needs to feel a purpose of help. Like,
And
to
he also
help.
feels like he's the strongest. out of
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And he's basically begging to do it because he feels like he has to be a part of, like, do something.
This is when this character gets serious. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then, no.
He's still fat.
Still.
And now during this, we don't see Nebula at all. She's not in that room whatsoever.
No. So Hulk is like, it has to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys saw what it did to Thanos. It almost killed Thanos. It's radiation, and it's mainly gamma radiation, so I was made for this moment. In the meanwhile, Nebula is back at the time machine that they had built, and she is basically using her robotic self to make it so that Thanos and his ship can come back to the time period that they're at. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's trying to bring Thanos back, and then she ends up breaking that computer so nothing can happen to it again.
Yes. She's trying to bring Thanos back.
Thanos!
Taintos.
So-
That should have been Ant-Man's name. Taintos.
Basically, at the same scene that Hulk puts on the glove, and all the finistos run through his body, kind of like Thanos. Man, we're having issues.
We've said it like
That
20
knows.
different times.
And they're freaking out because it looks like it's killing Hulk, and they're asking him, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "I'm fine." So in the same exact time, Nebula actually brings the ship, or Thanos' ship, back, or from past to the future,
Right.
and it shoots out of the Avenger compound, and then Hulk then is like, "I got this," and boom, snaps. Basically messes up his whole entire side of his body.
Yeah.
Just like Thanos in the beginning of the movie.
Roasted, toasty, and burnt to a crisp.
So then they're like, did it work? Everybody's wondering. Ant-Man then walks to go outside, or to a window
Oh,
that
yeah,
shows
to go
outside where
look.
birds are floating around. Hawkeye's phone, Ronan's phone rings, and it's his wife. He picks it up, and it's his wife. So, obviously, the point here is that it did work.
Mm-hmm.
They actually did it. They brought everybody back. And Ant-Man is like, I think it worked. Like, as soon as he's about to say, guys, I think it worked, a big missile just shoots.
Bro, did you guys think that fool's dead?
No,
Yes.
because I saw his body go from big to small.
Mm-hmm.
So
Damn,
like,
it happened so
yeah,
fast.
you just, like, the very first time we watched it, I was like, oh my god, they just blew his ass
Yeah,
up.
I was like, dude, he's dead. No freaking
But
way.
when we saw it again, you actually see him when he's doing the, like, he gets blown and he starts going back. You see his little body, like, it goes from big to small, like, really fast. Like, you see it really quickly, yeah. So, Thanos is obliterating
He's
that,
nuking that place,
Avenger compound. And basically making it drop to the ground and everything. And creating, like, a wasteland in, like, seconds.
Yeah.
So, at this point, everybody's trying to save each other. Hulk is holding up practically the building. So Rocket Raccoon and War Machine don't die.
Did you guys think Rocket was gonna die in there? Because he's already pinned down. He's like, I can't breathe. I thought.
No,
Rocket
I didn't think he was
Yeah,
going
no,
to.
I didn't think he was
I kind of felt like we were getting to the point where most of the deaths were done with in the movie.
Yeah.
So-
I almost felt like they did that to,
Especially
like, try to
'cause
tease
that-
it, but it
this-
was so non.
It happened
like,
right after Black Widow's death, so
So you were just like, okay, he's not gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only expected a couple major deaths from this movie. I didn't expect like
Yeah, me either.
a ton of people.
No.
I mean, even the
Yeah.
Black Widow was a surprise. I mean, it was, but then it was just one of those things that.
But it fit for
really-
the movie,
yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
So then, Hawkeye gets up and he sees the glove. So obviously, his first instinct is to take that glove and to take it. Which then Thanos' like monster minion dudes are
The
in.
Chitauri guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
Chitauri's.
they're trying to go take the glove and kill him. So he's running from them.
Which that's a
Hulk
dope
and
scene, too.
War Machine and Rocket are underneath, and then you have like probably one of the dopest scenes that finally feature the three. Because Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are like what the main three,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what happens too is, so once Thanos destroys and makes this wasteland, he comes down.
He's chilling.
He just takes his helmet off, puts his sword in the ground, sits down, walks up. Nebula walks up to him, and she's
Badass.
like, "So what do you need me to do now?" And she says, "Find me the stones, and I'm gonna sit here and wait."
Yeah.
So
Like
I'm
a
going
G,
away.
like
Yeah,
a gangster.
So it's basically tied into how Thanos is during the beginning of the movie, where he's just ready to chill, and he knows things are going to come to him. Like I said, he's such. They touch base on it in comics, so he's so smart, strategic wise, that he knows they're going to come to him, and this is going to be his best option to win is to wait for them out there. That's why he doesn't bother going to get the damn stones. He knows damn well his best option is to wait out there and wait for them to come to him.
Yeah.
Which they end up doing, all three of them.
Yeah, so Captain America is like knocked out. Iron Man basically wakes him up, and he goes. They eventually walk to where Thor is, and Thor is just standing, looking downward.
What's he been doing?
Yeah, and
Nothing.
he goes. They see Thanos, and he's just chilling there with like a rock, and he's just playing with a rock. He goes, "What's he doing?" And Thor goes, "He's just sitting there. Like he's just been sitting there this whole time."
Yep.
So then it's. So Thor is still in like a hoodie, like a jumpsuit.
Yeah, like fat
Still
people
fat.
clothes.
And then he asked them, what does he ask them? He asked them like, it was almost one of those scenes where it was like, do you guys care what happens anymore? And it was practically like a no, and he was like, okay, good, then we're all on the same page type crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so then he calls for his hammer, and then
Stormbreaker.
calls for Stormbreaker, gets it. They connect to him. He gets a whole change of clothes.
Yeah.
Still fat.
His hair gets done. His beard gets braided.
Yeah.
But he's still fat.
It's still fat.
He's still a fat dude. And that's literally the moment where I was like, they messed Thor's character up.
Yeah,
in this
man,
whole movie.
it wasn't as epic. Like,
Yeah, that bugged me too. Like he should have got back to his normal body. I mean,
It
the
was
power, the
just
magic, and everything's
weird.
running through him. Why couldn't just transform his body back?
See, and I brought it up to JP, and I'll say it after this next scene, but the reason why I think they did that. Okay. So they end up having this beautiful slow motion scene of Thanos sitting down with his sword on the ground, his helmet on top of it.
Chilling.
and the three Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are walking in slow motion to him. So it's basically signaling it's about to go
Let's get ready to rumble.
about to go down.
About to go down.
So of course they have a little talk. Thanos says, "Your own failures. You can't live with your own failures." And where did that bring you? It brought you right back to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not even knowing that he already completed his mission. And
Yeah.
that, and this goes back to the conversation we had earlier, is like JP said, he figured out that by taking out half of the people, half the universe, you still have people who mourn for those people.
And want to reverse it.
So you still have people with a purpose to try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And by that happening, we get to the 80s training montage.
There's a montage.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
They
So-
play the Teen Titans song in the background.
We get to, or that he's basically saying, like JP has mentioned, he figured out that there's no point in taking out half the galaxy. He's going to take out the whole entire galaxy and start a new planet by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way people who are raised on this new planet
We have no idea.
will have no idea that any of this happened. And two, they'll grow to learn that life is more precious than basically wasting resources and stuff like that.
He's basically saying that these people are going to enjoy life and have a better outlook than we have now with everybody here. Because, first off, they're not going to know what happened. There's not going to be as many. There's not going to be an overpopulated world. So he even says himself, he's going to recreate it. And then Iron Man says, or Captain America said, but you're recreating out of bloodshed. And he says, but nobody will know.
Yeah, because he's initially going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
He doesn't even care.
Except
he's
him-
going
except
to
for
be the
himself,
only
he's
person
assuming.
alive.
Yeah.
Which makes me laugh because all these people, he has the sons of, are they called the sons of Thanos?
Yeah, there's
His little crew.
Yeah.
He has them, and he doesn't even care. He's like,
No.
I'm gonna kill everybody. I don't give a crap. That's how gangster
Yeah.
this purple.
Well,
one
it's
is.
just his motive is so set to what he thinks is 100% right.
Yeah,
It's hard to
there's
change
no
people's
changing
minds,
his mind regardless.
He's 100% right. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. He's right in what he needs in this world.
So then starts a battle between the 3 and the 1,
Which is
and
gangster.
it starts off cool as hell. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it really does. And then it cuts from there, and then it goes back to Hawkeye because that's an important part because he has the gauntlet. Okay, and he's running away, and he finally kills the monsters, and he's laying on the ground, and Nebula comes over him, and he goes, "Hey, I know you," and he gives her the gauntlet because he's so tired. She grabs it, calls Thanos, and goes, "I got the gauntlet," and he's kind of looking at her like, "Wait, what?" And then she's about to kill him, and then Gamora comes out with future future Nebula, and they're trying to explain to her you can change. This isn't what you have to be.
Yeah.
You're gonna change. I changed. You know what I'm saying? This is not who you're gonna be.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, he'll never let me change, even though she saw the future self.
Yeah,
which
You
did
saw all
change.
the memories and everything.
So, it could have changed, right?
Right.
So then she's about to kill
Gamora.
Gamora, and then future Nebula. This is where the time travel idea that me and JP had just went to crap. She shoots Nebula, old Nebula,
Kills her.
past Nebula, and kills her.
Wow.
But then she's still alive.
she's
Yeah.
still standing there, fresh as daisies.
They did that weird thing, she shoots her, and then they put the camera on future Nebula, and I'm thinking, oh,
She's gonna
she's
die.
about to die.
Yeah.
And it just goes to another scene. I'm like, whoa,
So-
wait a minute.
So I was
do you
reading
guys-
I was reading some theories about it.
about to say
It
the
bugged
same.
the crap out of me. And one of the theories was she's more
Robot.
robot
Than
than human at that point. So technically, she can kill her past self and not
And-
die because she's still a robot.
And actually, I just thought of this as we were discussing that. The part where she gets shot is actually on her robotic side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't kill her human. It doesn't kill her human.
So it hit this where it didn't really kill.
I mean, if we're going with that theory, though, then that means she'd have to rebuild herself, and there'd be 2 of her.
That's very true.
So
Very, very true.
it's time travel. Once again, we said
Unless
at the
they
beginning,
they jumped
hard.
Hood Freak said they explained it when time travel was first mentioned.
How you can kill yourself and not.
It's just it. Essentially, the whole we could do whatever we want to the past, and the future will still be the
I
same.
mean, but
Yeah.
that
Okay,
explanation still doesn't work.
you're right.
Yeah.
Hood. You're right, Hood. They said it's an alternate timeline, but that goes away as soon as they bring the Infinity Stones back to the original time place.
Yeah, because they have to
then
go
the
back
timeline
and fix
goes back
it.
to normal. So basically, that's just stating that everything that they do is going to be on a repeat cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
So their whole entire life, their whole entire origin stories have to start all the way over until that moment, and then they go back into time and they do it all over again.
Like I said, the easiest cop out, which I think is a cop out, is everybody says that the robot, she's so robot, she won't die in the future. I think it's just an easy cop out.
I think my whole thing is like, now that I remember her getting shot, it didn't hit like skin, like it was like
the
sparking.
because you can even see you see the robot.
Yeah, so I mean, my whole thing is like, just dumped her ass into a river. You know, if she's more robot, right?
Yeah, but whatever. But technically, it's that's what it came down to.
Then Hawkeye still has the glove because he gets it back. He then gets out onto the battlefield. But before that...
Woo!
We have to go back to the fight, yes.
Yes. It goes back to
part,
the fight. Okay? And at this moment, you would assume that
Thanos.
3 against 1 is working Thanos' butt.
It is.
No. That boy is a warrior. That boy is a beast.
They're even doing dope tag team moves like Thor shot Iron Man in the back and Iron Man projected that out. It's just not.
It's not doing nothing. That dude was taking blast after blast. His sword was incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Iron Man gets knocked out of the fight. Not knocked out, but out of the fight.
Yeah, he's out of the fight.
Cap gets out of the fight, and then it's just Thor and Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, well, this already happened. Like, Thor's going to whoop that butt. And this is why I think, and this is actually why I told JP...
Why they kept him fat.
Why they kept him fat is because when he was in shape, it was nothing. But now that he was out of shape, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I feel like that was the case. But in the meanwhile, Thanos is a god. Isn't he going to be hard to kill him? No, they don't ever explain he's a god.
He's a titan.
Yeah, he's a titan. But Thor ends up getting Stormbreaker close enough to his neck. Then Thanos is like holding it back, and then he actually gets the hammer and uses that to give him leverage to continue it. And then Captain America jumps on his back and starts pulling the hammer to make the Stormbreaker go closer to him.
About to cut his head off again.
And Thanos... I said the same thing to my friend during the movie. They had to even out. See, I mean, it makes sense. It really does. It sucks. It really does suck. I'm sorry. It sucks, but I get why they do.
But again, it's 5 years of them being out of battle training and not being ready and prepared to fight one of the strongest gods or titans in the game. I mean, you're not going to win it.
So he knocks out. He basically stops that all from happening. Stops Thor. Basically, headshots Captain America off him like nothing. Then he beats Thor's ass.
Yeah, he knocks him.
And kicks him into like this this rock, and he's still pounding on him. Thor calls Stormbreaker. Thanos looks, sees it, grabs it in mid-flight to Thor's hand, which was dope.
Yeah, that part was dope.
And goes to like basically put it in to Thor's chest. And it's almost in there.
Yeah,
like you see it cut into his uniform.
Yeah.
He starts cutting his arm.
And then Adrian, go ahead, man. This is your moment.
This is your scene.
The greatest part in the whole movie.
It is.
Is that the freaking hammer comes and we
hits
all
Thanos in the
think,
face.
yeah, it hits Thanos in the face, and we think, oh wow, Thor
just used it.
Freaking just used it. But no. The best, and when it's all said and done, when you add up all the movies, the one character that had the best run. Mm-hmm. All 3 movies combined, better than Thor's and Iron Man's. He's worthy.
Yeah.
He was worthy, and it comes back.
He's worthy.
Bro, me and JP went and saw it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it hits him, and everyone's like, oh snap, Thor freaking hit him in the face. And it flings back, and Captain America catches it with his fist.
And he just looks.
And Thor's like, I knew it! And the whole theater just went bananas.
This goes back to me saying I had 4 favorite parts. This was number 2. And the reason why this was number 2 and not number 1 is because obviously when we get to number 1, it's a big moment. But number 2, because like you said, the same thing in the theater. As soon as it hit him in the face, everybody was like, okay, Thor just used
Yeah.
it. But as soon as it flinged back, all you heard was, wait.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed it, and he had this look on his face that was
Yeah.
just like...
I'm gonna beat you down now.
And it was just like, oh, snap. Like, and that was funny.
The look
'cause
on Thor's face was amazing.
We, yeah, the look on Thor's... Because the best part about this was him saying he is worthy, but the funny part after that is Thanos, I don't know if you guys like remember seeing this, he looked at Thor and kicked his ass like out of the screen. And I started laughing the second time we saw it because I thought it was hilarious. But dude, Adrian, go on with the...
During this whole scene,
shield,
my
man.
poor son, during this whole scene, I am slapping my poor son because I'm so
Dude,
excited.
it was just like the dopest part. Like, I just didn't see that coming at all. Like, I think, with, like, again, I keep
And
bringing
it's in
up...
the comics, another thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in the comics, but I think, like, we all had so many theories, and they hinted at it in Age of
And
Ultron,
Ultron, yeah.
where they're, like, that was
Everybody's trying to
another really
grab it.
cool, like, episode. Everyone's trying to pull it up. And
it
Captain
shifts.
America, moves it, and Thor makes a face like, oh.
Yeah, like, wait a minute.
Yeah, then he's like,
Hold on.
oh, yeah, I told you, no one's worthy.
Yeah, because Captain America was like, grabbed it, lifted up, it shifted, and he goes, nah.
Yeah.
I think, like, he knew
That he could pick it up. And
that
do
he could
what
pick it up,
to.
but he was like, no, this is Thor's thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. Because Captain America's righteous. Like, he's not going to take somebody's shine. He's just
Yeah.
like, nope, I can't do it. Thor's like, whoo, okay, yeah.
Dude, just the way Captain America looked when he caught the hammer.
And he had the,
And he
shield,
had the shield,
and the
yeah.
hammer
Oh
at the
my
same
gosh,
time.
bro! And he just starts
Yeah,
whooping.
that's an amazing scene.
It was a beautiful cinematic moment.
Yeah.
It was just so dope,
And
man.
the fight scene
but-
that comes after.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh
just
my
the
So
God.
the use of the shield and the hammer
Yeah.
was so creative.
It was dope.
He threw the shield, hit Thanos in the face. It flew up. He threw the hammer
Bounced
to
it.
Yeah.
hit the shield back. Like, what was that? that
it
was
was
nasty.
It was dope.
Then he sure you could him
yeah,
with
But-
like.
After all this greatness, what still happens?
yeah, man. I mean,
I just want to talk about this scene so much though. 'cause
This
it's
was
so
to me.
beautiful.
This is the best part of
Yeah,
the
it
movie.
So,
was
well,
the best
he
part.
short you him. He falls to the ground, and then a big moment. He actually calls on Thunder. And then,
Oh,
slams
yeah,
the ground.
But that was dope. Too.
Yeah,
That
Thanos
was so-
moves out of the way.
dope.
Ends up actually still whooping Cap's
Still
ass. So
Cuts
the,
his shield up.
yes, the choreography was crazy
Just so
amazing.
nice.
That scene alone was beautiful. It was absolutely nuts.
Sploosh!
Skadoosh. But the reason why I brought up that his sword was strong is because he ends up chipping Captain America's shield. in this
Yeah.
movie. He's just like hammering down on the shield, like bap, bap, bap. And so then comes my favorite. This is the number one favorite scene for me.
This
Yeah,
was
this
the
scene was
second
dope. I
best
almost
part to
this,
me.
this scene was amazing.
This
I
to
think-
me was the second best
Yeah,
part.
it was
Yeah.
second.
I thought it was the first, but
I
the
might have
only
to
reason
give it
why
to
I
the
thought it was
first
first
also.
because of the cinematography of how beautiful the
Yeah, it
last
just
scene.
looks so dope.
So he basically is Thanos basically is telling him like this is it, like I'm gonna obliterate this whole planet.
Yep, it's over.
And
he said
Chipping
that-
is putting it like
had-
I mean he basically takes chunks out.
Yeah, he destroys
He
that.
had a good
thing.
line though too, right here. Is he says that any of this was never personal, but I'm gonna enjoy doing what I do to your planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he brings down his entire army, which JP made a good point during the second
Yeah,
time
this
watching
part
it.
didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Where the hell did
because
all these people come from?
He brought the one ship back in time.
Oh,
How the fuck
yeah.
did he get his whole army?
It might have
Yeah.
taken. You got to think it's his entire army, and they're slow moving. Like those ships are
But it
slow.
only shows one ship coming back from time. Did he bring his whole army
He
back
must have
from
brought.
time?
Yeah, he must have brought his whole army.
because it
with
didn't
him.
show. It only showed the ship, and
Yeah.
then when his ship went through, it broke the time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the confusing part too.
His
If you
army
pointed
must
that
have
out, I was
been
like,
with
"Wait,
him.
yeah, you're right. That didn't make any sense."
His army must have been with him during it, but his ship
Where
is
were
faster
they
than
that
his
But it
army,
wasn't
so
that though.
they had to
Like,
catch
but
up.
I get that. But like those pillars that dropped down, you know, it like from the sky. Those pillars that dropped down, those could have been on the ship. Those were like just as big as that ship.
Yeah.
You know? But so his whole army's coming out, and then Captain America's on the ground, and then he kind of like is
It's like
getting
it's
up,
over, man.
straps up his shield.
Now,
Now,
as
if you
tight
notice,
as possible.
if you notice, his arm was broken or
Yeah.
cut
Yes.
somewhere because he
Yeah.
traps it and fixes his arm.
Yeah,
again.
right. So he stands up, and then you get this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cinematic scene where it shows Captain on the left side of the
All
screen
by
by himself, and Thanos and his entire army behind him on the right side, and it's like this huge,
Yeah.
huge panoramic scene, and it's so Like that alone to me just like made that whole like this whole like 11 years worth seeing that scene.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
so dope. And then he's like, Captain's pretty much like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yep.
Like I can't, like I'm it. I'm what this world
I
has
want
to
to go
offer.
down fighting and dying.
Exactly. Then you hear Sam on Captain America's earpiece say, "Cap, can you hear me? Cap, can you hear me?" And then Cap like looks around, puts his hand on his ear, and he goes, "On your left," which reference from first Cap America movie.
Yeah.
And then a portal opens up, and who do you get? Probably the other greatest Marvel movie to come out of this 11-year span.
The Black
Black
Panther.
Negro Pantero. Black Panther Wakanda forever.
He's got all of Wakanda with him. He's got that army behind him, man.
The first three people is what
It's Shuri.
his little sister,
Black Panther,
and then the Michonne,
guard.
her
Yeah.
character, yeah.
Then after that, then Evan or Sam comes out, flies out, and then it opens up all the other portals, and then you see everybody come out, and he's got all Wakanda. And if you guys notice, like when the portals were opened up, everybody was in Wakanda.
Yeah, they're all Wakanda.
So it was basically Doctor Strange getting all these collected people
But that's where the
going to
battle.
Wakanda, and
That's where the battle ended anyway.
yeah.
That's where half of them disappeared anyway.
So
was Wakanda.
and then they're like, okay, we're going through. Like that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
So everyone comes back.
they were
Every
coming
single
to
person,
murder folks, man. Oh, so excited. Oh, so excited.
including Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
The Blue Beetle.
She did look like the Blue Beetle.
Even her weapons look like the Blue Beetle. It made no sense. I mean, she was doing it. I was like, what is going on?
It was definitely different, like seeing that. But so all these people come out. Spider-Man. I know you guys wanted to bring him.
yeah, boy.
Spider comes out. Doctor Strange and like pretty much that whole order,
whole
those
crew,
monks
yeah.
and stuff come out.
They all come out.
Pretty much
Wakanda.
any person you can think of, Drax, all the Guardians come back. And then you finally have everybody together. 11 years in the making. It was absolutely amazing to see
Yeah.
that
That's
scene.
worth it, yeah.
So, literally, every person you can possibly think of comes back. And you finally get Captain America to say this one line.
First time.
For the first time in 11 freaking
Yep,
years.
11 years,
He says,
yeah.
Avengers
Assemble, man.
Assemble, Adrian.
It was, man, it's just epic.
I don't know about you guys, but I had feels and the feelings of my feels.
Yeah,
man.
I got
This was the
chills.
great-
Like I got goosebumps. Watching even the second time.
I'm yelling.
I got
Let me-
goosebumps.
Let me tell you how I watched.
That's
this
why I
movie.
felt. That's why I felt like. So you can keep going, but that's why I felt like this was number one for me. Because even when he did the hammer, I thought it was amazing, cool,
Yeah.
and everything. But when that scene happened, I got goosebumps.
See, now that's why I
part
agree with you
was-
too, because that scene was. Let me tell you how half this movie went for me. The end of this movie, where we're back at Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America just fighting. My daughter starts crying right off the bat. She thinks Captain America's gonna die. She's already crying. Then as soon as the portal opens, she gets excited, and then the battle, and she cries through the end of the whole end of the movie, from where they start fighting to the very end. She cried the whole entire movie. While James is over here, I'm slapping the poor kid. My daughter's getting hit, or my wife's getting hit. Raylan's crying. Everybody's super excited. I'm yelling. The whole theater's looking at me like I'm losing my mind. That was half my experience with my daughter's crying through at least the last part of the movie. It was so funny.
Man, you got that big comic book
Yeah.
The big comic book
Comic-
feel, man.
comic book battle with
Something
all,
you wanted so
everybody's
badly.
Exactly.
going at it at the same time.
So let me add on to that. So I went and saw it with my daughter, and it was. I think at this moment it was maybe 11 o'clock, 11:30, because I saw it opening day very late. Sorry, I'm a bad parent. And she had school night the next day, or it was school night. She watched the whole entire movie. Right? Nice to see you back, Jonathan. So she watched the whole entire movie. So she had a different reaction. So she was watching it, and as soon as the first portal opened, she saw Black Panther.
Yeah, that's her.
If anybody knows my daughter, she was probably the biggest Black Panther fan on the
she
planet.
is.
She started screaming, giving me high fives, like Daddy, sorry, Black Panther. Like it was great to watch with her.
It was
But so everybody comes back, and then he says, "Avengers Assemble,"
And they start fighting.
and then the biggest battle. I think a lot of people compared it to Ready Player One's big battle.
Yeah,
But I feel like
too.
this was bigger because you didn't care about everyone in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
You only cared about the main people, and in this one, you cared about everyone.
Yeah.
Like, they even had M'Baku.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like running like blah.
Scarlet Witch was in there. All
Yeah, that everyone, right? So then you go back to the scene of Hawkeye saying, "What am I supposed to do with this glove?" Because they don't have a teleport device to. At this point, I actually don't really know why they were trying to teleport the glove away.
They're trying to get away from Thanos, so he has no chance of getting it whatsoever. They can just beat him. I think that was the main plan.
But they were still trying to return the stones at the same time.
Yeah, because they have to keep returning the stone, but they have to keep the glove away from it at the same time. So.
That makes a little bit more sense. So like they have the truck from Ant-Man, and that's the main truck that they're gonna use the Quantum Realm toilet porter to get back. So Black Panther goes up to Hawkeye and says, "Give me the glove." And it's about time. I was waiting for Black Panther to do something this whole entire movie.
No.
He gets the glove. This boy just takes off.
And he is smoking full.
Running, using his kinetic energy, bouncing people off the ground, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets hit. And then
who picks up
Spider-Man
the glove?
takes it.
Whoa!
takes it.
Now hold on, we gotta go back a little bit to a scene that this is now. I cried 3 times this movie. Yeah. 3 times I cried in the movie. The first time I cried is you see Spider-Man coming out and you know he's there, and one of the first things you see is Iron Man and Spider-Man meeting up again, and Iron Man just giving him a big old hug. And right there was the first time I cried. The feels. It hit me right there. It made me tear up.
Hey, you want to know what made that not as sad as what you're saying?
It's not sad. I was happy, but I was crying because I was so happy. I cried. I'm going to tell you, I'm a 35-year-old man, 6'1", 240 pounds, and I'm crying like a little baby because he hugged Spider-Man.
Okay, but what made that not as sad as it could have been was like Spider-Man was just like, "Oh, this is nice."
Wait, because Spider-Man's been gone
Shut
for
up.
5 years, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know he's
so
gone for
mean.
5 years.
He's just
man.
a child.
Wow.
These two hate Spider-Man, so anything they say about Tom Holland, the greatest Spider-Man ever, does not.
Anyway, Miles Morales is the greatest Spider-Man ever. But anyway,
Miles Morales.
Who plays Miles Morales? Who plays him? Yeah, CGI.
Continuing on.
Sorry,
CGI
yeah.
is better than Tom Holland.
Continuing on.
Sorry.
If
We
you
can
guys
go
saw our argument about Spider-Man in the past episode,
It will never end.
you will know that this is never going to end, so we're not going to deal with this. But I am going to say one thing about this. During that, and I know Jonathan, since you're watching, you remember this. We complained that his suit was not what made Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man who had his own thing, his instincts, his spider sense, blah, blah, his suit, right? And that's what pisses off the most. In this movie, what does he do? He doesn't use his instincts, he uses kill mode. And that was annoying. Okay, you guys can say whatever you want as far as me and JP not liking Spider-Man, but I really wish I would have saw him do more with actually him doing more than saying activate kill mode and letting his suit do everything for him. Yes, he did move around, he did keep getting the gauntlet, whatever, but he activated kill mode. What was the point of that, right?
Didn't they hint at that option in the suit?
Yeah,
in
it's
movie?
a
Well, no, they
touchback
did
to
it in his Spider-Man movie.
In his Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
And
but that's what I'm saying.
without getting into this too much, let's take maybe another minute or two. We text about it afterwards, and you got to remember that the Scarlet Spider suit was made during the Civil War, so he has had that suit before. And this is a younger Peter Parker, a younger Spider-Man who's never had this connection with Iron Man until this movie. So that's why it's different. Spider-Man still has the spider sense and the power. He used it in the very first movie when the suit was gone. And he's holding up the thing and he can't pick it up. And then he finally taps into his own power and he picks it. He still has his power. He still has his spider sense. But he has such a connection with Iron Man that I don't think he wants to rely on his own power. He'd rather rely on the connection to Iron Man. And that's what I was trying to explain to you guys, is you haven't seen that before until the Civil War comic where he makes Spider-Man. He gives Spider-Man that suit in the Civil War comic. He gives him the Scarlet Spider suit, and Spider-Man ends up using that suit more than his own power because all that suit is designed to do is protect him and amplify his power. And that's all that suit does.
Okay, but it didn't amplify anything.
It
The suit
protects
did
him.
everything for
the
him.
suit protected him. That's what that suit's designed to do. Protect him and amplify his power. So if he ever
But he
falls
wasn't
short...
protect. Okay, never.
If he ever I know we can't get into it too much, but if he ever falls short, the suit is designed to take over and help him. And that's what it
No,
was
but
doing.
he has to
was
control
falling
the
short.
suit to take over for him.
He
But
was falling
regardless,
short.
okay. Anyway, you're right. This will be another time. I get what you're saying.
Another time. Sorry.
I just want to add on to what my part of it. It doesn't bother me that they're taking Spider-Man in a new direction. That's fine. They can do whatever they want with the character. It's just not the Spider-Man I want to see. It's just not for me. I don't care for him.
It's the
I don't,
Spider-Man.
It's the Spider-Man
I
we
don't
deserve,
like-
but not the one you
I
want.
don't like the whiny crybaby character, and that's what he is.
totally
He's a
agree.
whiny crybaby character.
All right. So, after he gets his ass beat, it being in the suit that's supposed to protect him,
Well, he didn't get his ass beat.
he did because he was all bloody.
Yeah, I mean,
Bloody
he was
man.
getting swarmed by thousands of them, but yeah,
So-
I get it. You get it.
Eventually, they break off all these people where he activates his kill switch. Captain America throws the hammer. He latches onto it. He goes. And in the meanwhile, Scarlet Witch is fighting Thanos, and she's about to basically kill him.
Oh yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That scene was funny too because she's all, "You took everything from me," and he's like, "I don't even know who you are." And that right there, I mean, that just shows you he's not there to have a battle with you people.
He
He's
doesn't
just
even know who they are.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just
really.
there to get his motive done and
Yeah.
call it a day. That's it.
why he's so unique and so cool.
Yeah, but she's whipping his ass.
But yeah, she's about to kill him. He says, rain fire.
Yep.
And they're like, but you're going to kill half our troops. JP, not my Spider-Man, sorry, 2019. So, he basically, the ship launches a crap ton of just bullets at
Yeah,
the
those
war
bombs,
zone.
yeah.
The monks of Doctor Strange, they end up creating like a roof above them so that these bombs can't hit them. Then all of a sudden, the bullets start firing out into the clouds. And everybody's like, you know, what are they aiming at? What did they lock onto? And they're like, something under the atmosphere. Then brings in the most strongest, overpowered person in the history of Marvel Cinematic Universe, Captain Marvel. This chick flies through that big old giant ship that was giving him issues in 1 second.
Yep, destroys everything.
Done.
Destroys it. Destroys it.
Destroys it.
Destroys
man.
it. Goes
Destroys.
down to Spider-Man and says, hey, you got something for me? And he's like, yeah, but I don't know how you're going to get it through that. And basically it pans out. It's like the whole army is coming towards her.
Strong woman power.
And then comes probably the most...
Haters.
The
Y'all are haters,
most
man.
forced...
Wow, it's not the most.
the most forced
It was.
women
I-
empowerment
It was
scene.
a little forced.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind it. But why was Pepper Potts in
Well,
the forefront?
Because she's
I like
the Blue
a lot-
Beetle.
I like a lot of the female characters in this show.
Oh, definitely,
or in the
yeah.
series. And I love the strong female like leads that they're showing. But the way they went about it was just kind of weird. Like I would have appreciated it more if she took the glove, started flying through them, and then the girls started protecting her around her.
Yeah.
If it was more like natural, organic moment.
Yeah, instead of
just-
putting them all together to
yeah.
make them go. Yeah, I agree with that.
Somebody said literally the worst part of the movie.
I just can't believe all my homies are women haters.
We're
man.
not
It's
woman
not
haters.
being a woman hater.
It's not,
It
but,
was
like,
forced. Now, see
okay,
that.
here's the thing. Okay, this is the reason why it bothered me, and I told JP while we were watching it. So when you watch it, all the girls are like, you know, they start fighting everything around, right? And they're like, it's a cool battle sequence. Like it's going from like person to person, Valkyrie, and, like it's going from person to person, blah blah blah.
Valkyrie.
Then
I love her.
and then you have some of the strongest heroes are. No, you're absolutely correct. They are. And I'm not saying that that was like a crappy thing to do. I'm just saying that it seemed forced.
Yeah, it was.
So they're
It's
all
like they had to
fighting.
put it in there.
Yeah, it's like the
something
Russo
that
brothers
had to
like,
happen.
no, this has to be in
This
here.
has to be-
So then they're all fighting, whatever. So you're like, okay, she does need their help. But they Captain Marvel.
Also, sorry to catch up, but one thing that we missed is Ant-Man and Wasp, who came back.
Yes.
They're trying to get to Ant-Man's van so he can open the portal to get rid of the thing.
Wasp.
And now here's another thing that bothers me is when they got to that van, there was no power, right?
Yeah.
But in the
He had a
first
hot wire
scene,
in the car.
the mouse was able to have power to the van after 5 years of it sitting there. It should have had no power, and the mouse let him out. And that's where you come full circle to how the hell did Ant-Man get out of the quantum realm? How the hell does it have power there, but not power here? But it's been sitting there 5 years.
Tony Freak, I know you're agreeing with me. I agree with you too. The funny thing about is it didn't have power when they went to it, but it had power for him to set the alarm.
The alarm. It's all, and that alarm,
go.
and that alarm for you to hear that alarm over an entire battlefield, that would be the loudest alarm ever. Anyway, back to what you're
Too
saying.
much logic. Stop that.
Sorry.
Okay. So then, the reason why I felt it was funny is because after all these women are fighting, Captain Marvel just literally flies through everyone.
Yeah, she's like screwed.
Like, she doesn't even need their help. No. She just took down a whole ship. So what was the point of that? Yeah. Right? That's why I'm saying it was a forced scene.
Well, not only, but that was the whole reason why you can't have her in this freaking movie the whole time.
Yeah, because she just can fly through things.
She can just do whatever she wants.
Yeah. So, she's flying to the ship. Thanos goes to run at her. Then he gets blasted by all the girls.
Yeah.
And basically he goes down, takes his sword, and throws it at the bus, the little van, and it explodes. And Captain Marvel flies back, and then the gauntlet is literally sitting in one spot.
Yeah, it just falls right off her face.
And at this moment
in the world, and she can't hold on to a damn glove after the explosion.
Iron Man sees it. Is that at this moment or
no?
Captain Marvel goes.
Captain Marvel Thanos fight.
Yeah, so Captain Marvel and Thanos fights, and it's basically a replay of Infinity War.
Yeah,
because she holds his hand, and he's going to crush her, and then he goes to headbutt her. And then he just looks at her. She just looks at him like
that headbutt.
Yeah, she freaking Austin Aries.
That's the part that makes her character cool, though. Is that she just doesn't care.
Yeah, she has this attitude about her that's it's like Thanos' attitude, but it's just I'm good. Yeah. So it's I can do whatever I want.
I mean, she headbutt
and I know Matt doesn't care for her character, but I think she's actually cool.
I think she's cool.
No, I think her movie is dope, but I just feel like she's very, very strong.
She's OP. So
then they have their fight, and then he finally they break away.
I think one of his sons comes up and starts helping him, doesn't he?
He takes the Power Stone off the
off the
and
gauntlet.
then knocks her away with the Power Stone.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
And then the glove is on the ground. Mm-hmm. And then Doctor Strange,
he's holding up. At this point, we missed that part, but at this point, one of the missiles broke one of the damn walls, and there's a bunch of water coming in. Doctor Strange is controlling the water. So
that's why he's not as much involved in the fight, which I feel like that was a good way to take him away because he's strong as hell.
He's super strong too.
So he's sitting there controlling the water so nobody can get
because he can't really do much other than spin his wrists. So
dang,
somebody hates Doctor Strange.
That was one of the dopest movies in the Marvel universe too.
No, JP, that was boring.
It was
crazy.
Okay, anyway,
she got one shot, one punch. Okay, so at this moment, the gauntlet's on the ground. Thanos is kind of stunned a bit because of that punch that he did. Tony Stark then looks at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange looks at him while he's holding the water at bay and basically puts up his one finger to say, "This is the one. This is it. This is that chance."
And something that we missed also in the very beginning of when everybody comes back is Iron Man asks Doctor Strange, he goes, "Is this the one you saw?" And Doctor Strange said, "I cannot tell you because if I tell you, it won't happen."
And that's a very strong line due to what's about to happen.
No, it's about to happen.
So he looks at him, he goes basically this is it. This is the one chance that I told you. I think Tony Stark knew though all along.
Yeah, I think he knew all
I think he
knew.
did. So
it's been hinted at through several movies, not just this one.
So he goes to he sees Thanos running to get to the gauntlet, stops him, and then they're kind of grabbing the gauntlet, moving it around, doing stuff. Thanos then gets the gauntlet and kicks Tony Stark away, and he has it, and he's says the line that he did before he died, I am inevitable.
Yeah,
I am inevitable with his big old purple lips, and then he snaps, and nothing happens. It doesn't even make a noise.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Huh?" And then he looks, and all the stones are gone.
Yep. Because technically, if you remember, we told you in the beginning, it's Iron Man's glove. Iron Man made it with the nano, but Iron Man can easily just take them off. Yep. That's what made it different than it being the Infinity Gauntlet. Because the Infinity Gauntlet, it's sewed into that gauntlet. You can't take them off. But this way, Iron Man controls that whole. It's Iron Man's technology holding them in there. So that's
he controls it with his whole.
Yeah.
So. Yep, there is a click of metal. That's it. That's all you hear.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'll actually let the true Iron Man fan explain.
I can't do it.
Okay. Well, if he can't,
I can try. I'm gonna try.
I'll let him explain it because it means a lot to.
I'm probably gonna cry during it. So he gets the stones off, and we see that he gets the stones, and it's starting to the power starting to surge through him, and then things happen. This power.
No, come on. All right,
So
I'll say it. Forget it.
The power surging through him, and he looks at Thanos, and he does that.
Wait, hold on, wait. You're missing
You're the
much.
best line.
Okay, so I'll say it.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
so he has this, as Matt was saying,
I can't
it
do
rushes through his body,
can't do
and you can tell the radiation's already getting to him. And then Thanos is looking at him.
Because when Thanos snaps, he says something, though. We got to cover that part.
Yeah, he did.
That's what he
said, I'm
says, yeah.
inevitable. And
Okay.
Yeah. And then, I wasn't ready. And then he has it, and he
nobody
goes,
was.
I am
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And snap.
The same line that started it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the first Iron Man movie is then the end of Iron Man himself.
And then we see all of Thanos' guys stop fighting. Basically, the fighting just stops.
Yeah. Because
And
they
they
all
start disintegrating.
He basically did what Thanos did to us.
Yeah.
He did it to him.
And we see that Iron Man's hurting during this also. He's hurting.
Isn't it that him and Thanos had that weird connection where they both saw the future? Like Thanos saw the future of him conquering everything, and Iron Man almost saw himself defeating it
Yeah, defeating
through every movie since
Yeah, it's always been.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
been.
because
that
after
when
the
they-
very first Avenger movie is when he starts having his
That's
dreams.
what it
he
is,
starts
yeah.
having his panic attack. I'm sorry, but again, Thanos is just super dope. He sees all his people going, and then literally all he does is he just sits down,
Yeah.
looks down, and then he's
And
gone.
just- yeah.
He's just that
dang.
gangster.
Which I'm kind of glad. I was waiting for a stupid one-liner during that too. I'm so
No.
glad we didn't get that.
Yeah,
stuff.
like,
I'm so
I feel
happy.
like they
They
did
did
perfect.
for cheesy
Yeah.
about Thanos. They
All
were
right,
cheesy,
so
man.
Thanos is such a G. He just accepts it. You can see he's just
'Cause once
"Good
again-
fight, Stark, you win this time."
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we touch base. Thanos ain't scared to die. He ain't scared to die
No.
for his cause. He doesn't
But
care.
again, he didn't even care that he got his head chopped.
Yeah, he doesn't care. And then we get to the part.
All right, so then, War Machine comes up to him, and then Spider-Man comes up to him. He's like, "Mr. Stark,
Oh God, don't do
Mr.
it.
Stark,
No, don't do it.
we won, Mr. Stark." Mr.
So now
Stark.
now if you notice, Gabe and JP have to ruin everything.
Yeah, haters.
So we get a nice touching moment between them, and then Tony is he's still trying to fight. Like you can see, he's still
Coherent.
He's still coherent. He's still trying to stay alive. Half his body's burnt. You can tell he's done. Like his face is half is gone. His arm, the whole half where he snapped is gone. And then finally, when Pepper walks up and says, "We're gonna be okay, Tony." He
they just
dies.
inherited
He dies.
the most amount of money in the world.
I know.
So I knew she was gonna be okay.
Dang.
She's going to love him 3,000 times.
So then,
I'm all like a baby. I'm crying right now.
so then after that, it starts. And then it goes to see where it kind of showing most people's faces, and they see him passing away.
Oh, he's gone.
Then it cuts to him having a message from his helmet to Pepper and
Yeah,
the daughter, and basically say "Why am I tripping? We're gonna win." Blah, blah,
Cry
blah.
with me. Cry with me. Thank you.
And then, then he bends over and look it's cool because they have him bend over and kind of basically look at the daughter and say, "I love you 3,000," and then it ends.
Oh my God! Now let me tell you, I cried. So I cried a little bit for the floodgates didn't open for the hug at Spider-Man. I teared up a little bit. I cried when Iron Man died, and then when that happened, I remember my daughter still crying at this point. But when he looks over there and says, "I love you," I can't even get it out. This is real. When he looks over at her and says, "I love you 3,000," man, I choked up and I had to hold it back as much as I could because I wanted to literally bawl my eyeball. I wanted to scream crying. That's how sad. That's how much that part got to me because my daughter's sitting over there bawling. James is crying. Nicole's. Everybody's crying. And it's just right when he said that part, man. Oh man, I'm crying right now. I just bawled. I had to hold it back. I had to choke it back.
I don't know if you heard when we went the second time. I think there was a guy crying. I don't know if you heard him sniffling in the back.
Like Matt sneak in the back.
I can't watch that part ever.
So
again,
after
man.
that scene, the original arc reactor that helped Tony survive the very first time,
Yeah.
that says what is it? It's
Let
like
it out, man. I'm letting it out.
what is it? It's it says proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They put on a bouquet of flowers. It goes into a lake or river.
Yeah, to the lake.
And then the camera starts panning back, and then it basically shows every character but their group.
Yeah.
So it showed like Pepper Potts and the daughter.
Yeah.
Then it showed Tom Holland, the Bob,
Spider-Man.
and
Falcon.
the bodyguard.
Oh,
Oh,
Happy.
yeah. Happy.
Yeah. Then it showed Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and
Hawkeye.
Hawker.
Right?
no, not Hawkeye, Winter Soldier. And then it showed
Black Panther and Shuri.
Black Panther, Shuri. It showed Ant-Man and that whole group. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it just panned out through all of them.
Yeah, but there's some random boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And-
weird to me. And he looked like the boy who was an ass to Ant-Man in the first little episode. I didn't understand what he
No.
was.
Okay, so I had to look this up. That grown man is actually the actual same kid. Yep, from Iron Man 3.
Oh, those three.
From
Yeah.
Iron Man 3.
No, does he really?
Yeah,
Yes, it's the kid from Iron Man 3
that helps him.
And he
him.
looks super out of place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did look
It's
super
so
out of
weird.
place.
But that's
oh,
who it is,
wow.
yeah.
That's intense.
And then if you guys don't know, too, it also has the general from The Incredible Hulk.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Him. It has the girl, what's it, Samuel L. Jackson's assistant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Captain Marvel. And then it has,
Now, have you ever noticed that Jane Foster is missing from all of this? That whole entire time, they never once show Natalie Portman. Like, why is that? Does anybody
Well,
know
they
why
showed
Natalie
her
Portman's
in
done?
the part with
Thor's part.
with
Yeah, but
Thor's
that
part,
was just a picture.
But that was just old footage
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the original movie.
Like, is she
But
done?
she doesn't want to do the movies anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Makes
she's
sense.
dumb. She'd rather
Yeah,
do Black
that's-
Swan and have
Damn.
lesbian scenes. So,
She won the Oscar.
You're not a black swan.
so then it goes all the way to that. And then, now at this moment, Tony Stark's that was his send-off. Now you go to Cap's send-off. So he's going back in time to bring all the stones back into the spot before they stole them.
I didn't
There's
like
a part
this.
here too that a lot of people miss because a lot of people were wondering about Thor's hammer. Captain America takes it in the past
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
A lot of people missed that.
That was
but-
weird because it shows it.
Yeah, because it's right
Yeah.
next to
Yeah,
that.
he
little-
sets it down.
he
And a
sets
lot
it
of the
down.
things that I've watched about the movie, everybody's all wondering about the hammer.
Yeah, he
goes
grabs
back
it.
in time.
Yeah,
with
he had it
Before he
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah,
it's
he
all like
picks it
laying
up.
down,
He
and then he
picks it
grabs
up.
it and he
Yeah.
just holds on to it.
And this part's stupid,
So
too.
he goes back to time to bring all the stones back into the part where before they get stolen to make sure the timeline goes back to normal, which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't because it's time travel. That's all.
But we already kind of went over that for a long period of time. So he goes back, and then Hulk is like, it'll take as long as how long ever he needs to take, but it's only gonna be about 5 seconds.
yeah,
max.
10 seconds.
So then he tries to bring it back. Nobody comes back in the time portal. Sam is like freaking out, like bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. I think Bucky already knew.
Yeah.
I think he
Bucky.
knew that he was gonna just go back to time and just stay.
Yeah.
So then he kind of walks off, and they see somebody sitting down. And he tells Sam like Sam, and then they walk over. And he goes, "Go ahead, you go," because this goes from the comic again. So somebody's sitting down on this bench, and it's literally old man
Old
Chris
man
Evans.
Jenkins.
Chris Evans.
Old man Jenkins.
Yeah,
Oh, no, sorry.
Chris Evans.
It's Captain America.
So he basically went back in time and stayed in time, and never got frozen. But JP brought up a good point again with the time travel thing. Would that mean that his ass is frozen?
Now,
all
see,
period of
now here's another point that Nicole brought up before we came over. Is she believes there's alternate timelines because even the witch lady says there's alternate timelines. So what happens is the Captain America who gets unfroze, that still happens. He stays with Maria or Agent Carter and lives that life over there. So while that Captain America is still going through that timeline, he's picked up a different timeline.
Well,
Okay,
this
So
is-
the one at the end is the one from that timeline, the future one, where the other one is still going.
Okay,
on.
so that theory would be perfectly fine if the same person described if you take one time stone, it goes off into another timeline.
But you
But
put
when
it
you
back,
bring it back,
and
it goes back
I feel
to the
like
same
Marvel
time.
kind of screwed themselves to the whole time travel thing because they went through such a painstaking effort to like say
Leroy Jenkins.
that they were going to stay on one timeline. And they
Yeah.
went through the whole movie and explained it. Okay, we're staying on one timeline.
Yeah.
And
But then if you watch the newest trailer for
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
there's a
they're
multiverse.
bringing in the
Yeah.
multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why go through the one timeline thing so hard and then start
And
the
then,
multiverse? It doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
assuming it's after he's frozen and she's still like divorced her, then her.
Yeah, so he stays in that after the frozen part. He stays there in the other. So it's just two alternate dimension or two alternate timelines.
I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense though. Because
It
why would
doesn't.
they
It's
try
cool.
to do one storyline and one timeline, the whole thing, and then next movie multiverse?
Yeah.
There we go. Like,
Which-
And here's the problem with that: like you'd have the old Captain America, but the Captain America who's been through all those battles, wouldn't he still be there also? Like even though it's a different time, time travel is so damn hard to do. It's so hard to pull off. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only original person that did it right was. What do you call it? So they go back in time, enters from our universe, but come out of the quantum realm in a different universe.
So yeah, the multiverse.
But they never explained it like that, though.
well, exactly. They should have just started the multiverse in this movie
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
starting it in
Yeah.
the next
In the
movie.
next movie.
Which, to give you guys a heads up, if they do a multiverse of Spider-Man, Miles Morales will be the best Spider-Man. So anyway,
Wait,
So-
he already is.
oh, you're right. So yeah, he gets old. Basically, is giving Sam the shield to take over, which happens in the comic. We all knew this was going to happen. A lot of people actually complain, wobbly wobbly, timey wimey. A lot of people complain
Red
that
Rocket
Bucky did not get the
Yeah.
shield.
That's what I was hoping wasn't
But
going to
yeah,
get. But I
doesn't-
understand they give it to Sam.
Doesn't Falcon get it in the comics?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
He
they
gets it
try.
in the comic.
I mean,
They try
Bucky
Hawkeye, and I thought
Bucky
they
does
tried
use
Winter
it a
Soldier.
little bit, but it's mostly passed on to Falcon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Iron
Well,
Man
actually-
wanted Hawkeye to get the.
In the comics, Cap gets shot and he dies,
Yeah.
and then Falcon just takes over.
No,
Well-
Hawkeye takes over first, and he's like, I don't
no,
want to do
yeah,
this.
no. Iron Man's trying to get Hawkeye to take over. Then Hawkeye says no. Then it's Sam.
Yeah,
takes
then
it.
the Falcon
That's
takes
okay.
over.
Yeah.
So then he goes, he puts his hand on Sam's hand and says, like, you're meant for it, blah, blah, blah. Sees a ring and he goes, you're going to tell me about her? And he goes, no, I think I'll keep that to myself.
Yeah.
Then he goes back in time, and then he finally, after 11 years, gets his dance
Yeah.
with Agent Carter,
That's so sad.
and they kiss, and then boomsy.
That's the end,
That's
man.
it.
That's the movie.
And then it has, like, a cool little thing where it's showing all the credits and people who play the parts, and then you get the signatures of the main Avengers.
Yeah.
And then their names.
So there is one part that we missed that was kind of it wasn't a tearjerker, but it was definitely tugging on the heartstrings. We saw Stan Lee's last appearance.
Oh
When he's
yeah.
yeah.
driving in the car and he goes, make love, not war.
Yeah,
And last-
where he
last
drives by the
appearance,
military. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought the one in Captain Marvel was more of
The beginning
Yeah.
part, and then when she looks at, or she looks at him, and then she's like, he's reading his lines from Mallrats,
yeah.
and then she kind of looks at him and smiles.
But I
and
mean,
walks
that
away.
movie was a lot closer to his death. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
But yeah.
But yeah, this is probably gonna be his last one. Unfortunately.
Well, they have said this is his last actual filmed one. If they do any more, it's going to be either with archived footage or like pictures or throwing him in there somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so real quick, we gotta. Anyway, so my wife made me stay for the whole entire credits.
I know you heard
And
the
yeah,
noise
the hammer. That was annoying.
of him hammering the first Iron Man
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's a fitting thing. It started with that, it ends with that. Like, which is kind of cool.
So somebody brought something up, and this is something I want to ask you guys. Do you feel like this is leading into us having a Galactus story, the World Eater?
That's what everyone's talking about. now.
Everybody thinks they set it up for a
Yeah,
Galactus.
that's what
Yeah.
everybody seems to think. That's
So-
not who I want to see personally, but
I mean, how you can't go bigger than Thanos.
Yeah, I was about to say,
though, unless you
who's
go
bigger?
Galactus. He's bigger though. That's
Yeah.
the only person that's
I mean,
above Thanos.
he's a World Eater. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
But then
you have to
do we
bring in
get a- do we get a Silver Surfer and
you
a
have to bring
Fantastic
in
Four
Fantastic
movie?
Four, yeah.
I think we do, especially because now they own the rights to Fox.
Yeah.
But that goes to I'd rather see Doctor Doom, and I know he's not as big as Thanos, but
He
I
gets
just
the
love that
gauntlet,
character.
Yeah.
And he does get the gauntlet, and I love Doctor
There's a-
Doom's
there's a-
character.
there's a
I
grip
want to
ton of
see
people
it.
get the gauntlet.
So this also, I told JP today, because I guess we both read different articles, but the Russo brothers said that they left the stones in the cinematic universe so that if any director still wants to use those in their movies, they're still there.
Which to me doesn't make sense with the time travel and all those stuff that they said, but whatever.
But they never destroyed the stones. The stones are still there. They brought them back to the
they
time
just,
period.
they put the stones back. Yep.
So
the stones are still.
they
existence.
said that they're still there, that they could still be used at any moment.
and Loki's still alive.
So that the Russo brothers gave Phase 4, whenever those movies come out, they gave them the choice to decide if they want to use them or not.
Yeah, the Russos are smart.
Yeah.
All right, so did it live up to the hype?
All right, yep. The final thoughts on the rating system, guys.
Says JP, who else would you like to see? Hold on.
Well, I
We're
said
getting-
He said Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dr.
Doom.
Doom.
I think Galactus would be the only next best thing.
I wouldn't. I think Dr. Doom would be a good,
I mean, he
I
does
just
take
I
on
love
a
that
lot of
character. I
universe.
think it would be
Yeah.
cool to see.
That would be dope.
and then you could do Galactus. But
All right, Adrian, what was the question?
did it live up to the hype, man? Is this the best one?
Ratings and final thoughts also.
You want my take?
Yeah,
I
let's
want.
get Gabe
Yeah,
go
is it the
first.
best one?
I feel like it was a good movie to end this universe of
Just
11
good?
years.
Just
Well,
good?
no, amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. I'm not going to say it's not amazing. But I feel like Infinity War had a bigger impact. And the only reason why I say that is because of the snap. This one, it was kind of one of those things that, like, because of all the news before this movie came out of knowing whose contract was ending and blah, blah, you knew people were going to be gone. You just didn't know how they were going to be gone.
Yeah.
But, so you already knew, it already took people away. It already took away from, like, the surprise factor of who's not going to be in the newer movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War was a surprise because even though it's based off the comics, you don't know who was going to actually die.
Yeah.
So, like, when Spider-Man went out, Black Panther went out, it was like, oh my god. Like, well, one, we just got our first major big black superhero and he died instantly. You know? So it was like, why? Wakanda.
Shout out to Blade.
But I feel like this was a very excellent...
And Meteor
you're right.
Man.
Very excellent way to end it. And I feel like everything that happened in this movie, well, during the Russo brothers' run was perfectly executed. But I feel like Infinite War was actually a bigger impact, and I feel like it was better.
All right, 1 out of 10, man.
And Nicole thought it was better too. She said Infinity War. I don't think it was better. I think they're both just as good.
I think they're equal.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty equal. 1 out of 10, Gabe.
1 out of 10?
Bro.
I give it a 9.
Wow.
But again, the only reason why I said that is because they already, like, again, like, the reason why Spider-Man wasn't a big deal to me dying in Infinity War was because he already signed up for a new movie.
Yeah.
And you knew it was after the
Yeah,
events.
that's
of
why I said
Infinity War.
kayfabe is dead. That's what makes it so hard.
Yeah, so it was like, you knew what was going to happen. You didn't know how it was going to happen. The way it happened was amazing. Don't get me wrong. The movie is amazing. It really is amazing. It's just, I feel like Infinity War had a bigger impact on that cinematic universe than any movie in that whole entire thing.
All right, Adrian. Final thoughts. Did it make it?
Dude,
1 out
man,
of
it
10?
gets 10, bro. Like, I mean, what more perfect way could it have ended?
With the bad guy winning. That's why Infinity War was so good.
Yeah.
You
can't have him win twice.
Yeah, well, you can't have him win twice. Like,
Anything else to add?
no, man,
Before we
it's
move on
just
to
it's the
JP?
best one. Captain America was the best character.
Yeah, I agree.
Here, I got a couple. Here we go. So,
I don't agree.
this was just as good as Infinity War, so I give it both a 10. I think they both had big impact. Best character was Captain America.
Yeah.
Best actor was Robert Downey
Robert
Jr.
Downey Jr. Yeah, I agree.
Most underrated is Ant-Man, because
I
his
agree.
first two movies are amazing.
Totally agree.
His are better than Thor's.
Yeah, I agree.
And they might be better than Iron Man's, except for the first
Well,
movie.
I'd agree with those except for Ragnarok. Ragnarok's better than Ant-Man movies.
Just the one, though. I'm talking about when you put them all
But if you
together.
put it like a group of movies
Well,
for
yeah.
that character.
Yeah.
The first two movies Thor had.
But no,
were
I
terrible.
think Iron Man 1 and 2 was better. But keep
I'm
going.
excited for what's next.
What do you think's gonna be next though? Like, are they gonna continue with Captain Marvel, or is she
Well, I
just
think
gonna be gone?
I
Well,
think
we know
the
the
new
Spider-Man
Spider-Man's
movie's
gonna
gonna-
like
They
set
already
everything
said they're
up
doing
again.
another Captain Marvel movie, but it's another prequel.
Oh, really?
Oh, can't wait
It's
for that.
another prequel.
Well, see, I don't want that. I just wanted to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and I think you're right about the Spider-Man thing because in the new trailer they talk about, oh, are you gonna be the new Iron Man?
Yeah,
And
there
blah,
was
blah,
like
and
all
like,
kinds
Yeah, they're setting
of
up to be
little
Spider-Man.
seeds, but yeah, man. I mean, 11 years in the making. Like, bro, this movie or all the movies just, bro. There's grown men freaking screaming and crying and like
35-year-old 6 foot.
And, dude, that's not even mentioning, bro. This movie's already hit $2 billion.
Built with a
This
B.
movie will be the biggest movie ever.
Yeah, seriously. Like, who would have thought we were gonna get all of that?
See, I totally agree with you, Hooded Freak. I totally agree with you.
All right, JP. Final thoughts, ratings.
All right, before I give a rating, I did think of a few other things while you guys were talking. So, The other person I would like to see outside of Doctor Doom, I want to see Dormammu.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, but then you'd have to.
But they don't really. Dormammu's not really a character for all of the.
That's Doctor
universe,
Strange
though.
mostly, though.
No, but
He's
I
not
mean,
going to be big enough for that.
He could be.
And didn't we already see
If they do it
Dormammu
right.
at the first at
They
the end of
hinted
Doctor
at
Strange?
him, but they never directly.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
fights him at the end of Doctor Strange.
He doesn't really fight
doing
him.
the repeat
No.
thing, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't fight.
He doesn't really fight anybody. He just
yeah.
You're crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely
Yeah.
touch. We're gonna have to touch base on your hate for Doctor Strange.
But anyways, the other thing that I did hear is because you brought up the Captain Marvel thing. The other theory is that since it's a prequel, they're gonna go back to the Skrulls, and the other thing could be Super Skrull.
Super Scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
That'd be
That's
so.
So that's the other possibility of where they could take.
But
it.
you still need a Fantastic Four movie for that because Super
Well,
Scroll
yeah,
is a
and
fantastic.
I'd love
Four.
to see that. I love the Fantastic.
Wait,
Four,
what's the worst
but-
movie? Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3.
Iron
Iron
Man
Man 3
3,
hands
hands
down.
down.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Number 2 would be Spider-Man.
Number 2 would be.
Get out of here, bro.
Number 2 would be
Thor
probably
1 or 2?
Thor 2.
Thor 2.
I think Dark World was like their worst.
Yeah, Thor 2 was not good.
Iron Man
Thor 2
3
was
was
not
bad.
good.
Thor
Iron Man
2
3
was
was
bad.
not
What's the
great.
best solo?
Black
Winter
Panther.
Soldier.
Winter Soldier and Iron Man
I-
1.
And Black Panther, probably
Black
top
Panther.
Why,
3.
yeah.
Man, Thor Ragnarok's really good too, but I think Winter Soldier's the best one.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, Winter Soldier was the second one,
Yeah.
and Iron Man 1 was the first one. It
Yeah.
took 3 movies for Thor to get that good one and a new director.
Yeah, seriously.
So, Guardians, though. Guardians 1
I
and
know,
2
we didn't
were
even talk about
like,
Guardians.
so
Both of
good.
them
Both
were
Yeah,
of
the
them
Guardians
were
2 is
good.
really good. I like Guardians
I think,
2.
like, for me, my favorite of all time is probably Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
had,
that's my
it was just so
favorite.
good.
I'd
Yeah.
have to go Black Panther. Movie was good.
See, Black Panther's second.
What's your rating?
I'd have to
JP?
say Guardians is my favorite, the first Guardians.
Really? Out of all of them, that's your favorite one?
But I would definitely give this movie a 10. I would give both of these movies 10s.
10s out of 10s,
I
guys.
thought they were
10?
both amazing.
Out of 10.
If
I'd
I had
give
to pick
it
a
11.
favorite, I would say I did enjoy Infinity War a little bit better.
Boom, ski, diddly dee.
But they're still both 10s. They're still both
Yeah,
amazing.
I'll change mine
And,
from a 9
and
to a 10.
this
It was
movie,
It's a 10.
It is. It is.
even though I enjoyed Infinity War better, still had the best part of any of them, which of course was the hammer.
Cap and the hammer.
Yep.
Yeah, man, this one had more epic moments to me.
There's
Infinity
nothing
War-
more epic
Hold
than
on a
Thanos
second.
winning
That's the one.
and
But that's
sitting
the one.
down. But that was the biggest
But-
one.
I know, I get that, but there were still more epic ones in this one than there was in just the
I don't think
one.
anything's more
But
epic than him
the
winning.
the time travel bullshittery.
Yeah.
was just
Bullshittery.
Well, don't be wrong. Okay, I'll take back my 9 and give it a 10. I will.
That's
But
all I
I
ask.
will
Gotta
say
give
that
it
I
a
think
10.
Infinity War was.
It's better.
All right, so after seeing this and all the hype that it brought up and 11 years of all of this being put together and it finally wrapping up, I mean, I feel like we got the movie we really deserved. We got the movie that we wanted. We got a lot of pieces, regardless if you like the time travel, regardless if you like Infinity War better. I think we got the movie that we deserve to get at the end. We got the battle that we wanted to see. We got the deaths we needed to get these characters out, to get the new characters in. I mean, it wrapped up so perfectly for 11 years of just cinematography greatness that we have been able to enjoy. I think it just wrapped everything up in a beautiful bow, and it really presented itself really well. And it's gonna go
stay
down.
As a kid. It made me stay.
Yeah,
as a kid.
seriously.
It did, and it's gonna go down as one of the greatest movies in our time, probably ever. I mean, it's got no choice. It's already blowing out box office numbers. It's billions of dollars. I mean, it's gonna be one of the greatest ones. I mean, it doesn't really. It just fulfills it, man. I give it a 10 out of 10. The only problems I ever had with it was Captain Marvel, but I can't stand her anyway. I think she's the worst thing ever, and it just pisses me off that nobody decided, hey, let's call this stupid asshole down here and see if she'll help us. Nope, nobody even thought of it. So that's the only thing that pisses me off. But other than that, man, this movie was great. Dare I say, it's a tearjerker, guys.
Wow.
It was a tearjerker.
It was a tearjerker.
It was a tearjerker.
It's a
great-
3-tier jerker.
was.
That's
Three.
kids.
Three.
It's a 3,000 tear
Don't
jerker.
say that. I will bust out in tears again. So,
Well, hold on, real quick before anything. Some quick statistics.
just keep talking. You're good.
Some quick statistics. Okay. Some quick statistics. Avatar, okay, is the leading box office movie of all
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Okay, $2.76 $70 billion,
Billion.
right?
Billy.
The one before that was Titanic, right? So this movie, okay, Avatar, let me go back to that. 2.70 billion, right? It took over 5,400 days to reach that 2.70 billion. Now, Infinity War in 11 days reached the 2 billion mark. In 2 weeks, it is at 2.17 as of today. Well, not at the end of the day because we actually saw it, so we added to that. But before that, in 11 days, it reached over the 2. This will be the greatest movie to ever come out.
It is.
And I actually think if Avatar 2 comes out and it beats this movie, fans are stupid.
There's no way.
Because those movies are garbage. Avatar movies are complete crap. All he does is makes it really pretty, and it makes kids or people seem like they're at a candy store and like, ooh, candy. But the movie itself, if you look at the plots, they're butt.
What does JP call them? Fern goalie on crack or whatever?
I say they are Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves.
I think Titanic's
Titanic's
money making is the most impressive.
It is because
They
of
had
how
the
much
record.
money.
Yeah, they had the record for how long? And that was when tickets were like $5.
Yeah,
But see, not only that, but
garbage.
But Avatar as well, though, got re-released twice in theaters. So they cheated,
Yeah.
if you want to call that a cheat.
Oh, this
Well,
movie.
and Titanic got released twice in theaters too.
Yeah, see, so this movie already is
But that was
broken it
well
with
after
one-
they already had the record, though.
Yeah.
One release, 11 days. But, all right, that's all I want to say.
Well after
Go ahead,
they had
Matt.
the
It was
record.
garbage both times.
All right.
Titanic is amazing.
Are we good? Because we got way off course there. But
Yeah, I just wanted to... Well, statistics about that movie, but Avatar sucks.
the effects of
Effects of
steroids on
Smurfs.
Smurfs. All right. All right, so now for the big reveal of the giveaway. This whole time we've been struggling with this live feed. Thank you for those who stayed with us.
Yeah, thank you, guys. This was a very random, hard challenge.
And I think we did pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed
For our
it.
first one, I think we did too.
I did.
Except now you guys can't see us. You just see the cartoon image of
Yeah,
this.
you couldn't really see the tears dropping down my face because those were
He was
real, man.
legitimately crying and didn't want to talk about it.
And I'm still gonna cry when I get home.
JP looks like Avatar in this picture.
Nicole, I'm glad you're home because I need hugs when I get home. Anyway,
I look like the true Avatar.
we went through the list of people watching and people subscribed and people shared and stuff like that, and we drew a name out, and that name is the Hooded Freak. So you are the one who has won the Deadpool pop vinyl and the artwork from Gabe, which is your choice of what you would like for him to draw for you. So we will hopefully get all your information. Good job.
JP is clapping so happy.
It was planned, so there's no video
I'm
evidence.
tired. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
it's
I need coffee.
your time. Some of us got to work at 4 a.m. So
Hey,
I hope you guys really enjoyed this. So
But Hooded Freak, we will definitely get your email.
yeah, we got to get your information, everything.
And you got to let us know what you want me to draw for you, bud. And I will definitely draw it out for you.
And if you want this pop vinyl signed or not, let us know now. If not, it's yours.
And here's a tip: you should ask him to draw Ant-Man going in Thanos' ass.
Plot twist.
Surprise ending.
So with that being said, guys, again, thank you for sticking with us. It has been a couple hours that we have been here doing this, and we reviewed the entire movie
The entire
of the Avengers Endgame.
I think we've been online for at least 2.5 hours.
Yes. Ant-Man has not gone up my butthole, but my butthole is making buttons. So it is time for it's time for us to wrap up this video. Us old men have to go to sleep and get to work tomorrow. So with that being said, please like, share, subscribe. Do what you can to help us keep building this channel. Do what you can to help us get bigger because we love bringing this stuff to you. So please help us, and we will keep bringing that content. With that being said, this video is, of course, I hope you can hear that snap. It was a snap. Boom! It's done, guys. Thank you.
Wow, bye.
Or is it what do you see?